Welcome to IAYTD, and on today's Names and Games, we're looking at one of the most prominent quote-unquote celebrities in gaming today, Hideo Kojima. Born in Japan, Kojima struggled most of his life. He lost his father when he was young and his family constantly struggled with finances. He was a creative kid, but those professions don't typically make much money, so his family didn't approve of his desire to draw and write. He was also a lonely kid, and even today as an adult, talks openly about his loneliness. Throughout early school and into college, Kojima had wanted to become a film director, but shifted focus to the video game industry. By this point, his mother was especially supportive, even while most of Japan didn't see value in entering the video game industry. We're talking the late 70s and early 80s, it wasn't quite what it is today. He eventually joined the company Konami in the mid-80s, though he didn't see much success. His outlandish ideas were often overlooked and deemed too complicated. This is when Kojima took over a small project called Metal Gear, a project that was kind of stuck because the combat wasn't working right. So Kojima took a few of his past ideas and implemented them here, creating a game that skirted the traditional idea of combat and introduced stealth mechanics. With Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, he further evolved some of these ideas and introduced concepts like creating sounds to distract guards and crawling into and through air ducts. It wasn't just Metal Gear that he was working on. He also launched new franchises like the noir sci-fi adventure game Policenauts, blending genres and giving us state-of-the-art cinematics and voice acting. His desire to be a film director definitely seeped into his games. He became a huge name in 1998 when Metal Gear Solid launched for the original PlayStation, which evolved the franchise into the 3D realm. It was received incredibly well, averaging in the high 9s. The storyline is a bit odd, and the franchise will continue to embrace that, focusing on people that are genetically enhanced or engineered to have unique capabilities. With the PlayStation 2 came the direct sequel Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty, which became one of the best rated games of all time, taking every aspect of the first and making it better. The franchise continued, every game receiving massive praise. The audience for this series was so invested that they even called and made death threats when Kojima made a comment that he may not direct Metal Gear Solid 4. He eventually co-directed it, hoping to ease those tensions. Shortly after this, and a few other non-Metal Gear games, Kojima was promoted to Executive Vice President of Konami. He had unique ideas, such as creating a radio show that would serve as a sequel to a game named Snatcher. He helped spearhead visual novels to complement their games. It's at this point that Kojima became attached to a franchise called Silent Hill, which is a horror series, and he said in interviews that he'd love to reboot it and make something horrifying. He worked with director Guillermo del Toro to create a demo for this game, which released on the PlayStation Store with the title PT. No one knew that it was a Silent Hill tease until the ending of the demo. PT ended up standing for Playable Trailer, hoping to get people excited for this new franchise, which would star the Walking Dead star Norman Reedus. Now this is when the controversy strikes. Kojima was working on this new Silent Hill reboot and the latest Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, both to be released for the PS4. However, Kojima's name started to disappear from things like directories of Konami executives. He put out a statement that this Metal Gear would be his last. Reports from inside Konami started to say things like Kojima was essentially a contractor, he had limited power and scope. They even announced that PT, which had gotten the world excited, was going to be removed from the PlayStation Store, which essentially meant that the game it was teasing would be scrapped. At that year's Game Awards, Kojima was absent, even though Metal Gear Solid 5 was a top contender for many awards.
Thank you very much, Kiefer, for accepting that award. And as you noticed, Hideo Kojima is not here with us tonight, and I want to tell you a little bit about that. Mr. Kojima had every intention of being with us tonight, but unfortunately he was informed by a lawyer representing Konami just recently that he would not be allowed to travel to tonight's awards ceremony to accept any awards. He's still under an employment contract, and it's disappointing, and it's inconceivable to me that an artist like Hideo would not be allowed to come here and celebrate with his peers and his fellow teammates such an incredible game as Metal Gear Solid 5. But that's the situation we're in. Hideo is in Tokyo right now watching the show, so we want you to know, Hideo, that we're thinking of you.
This seemed to be the end, though Kojima for a time was at the whim of Konami's lawyers. Once he was officially free, he announced a partnership with Sony and the launch of a new game called Death Stranding.
Hello everyone, I'm back. Thank you.
This game would feature, to no one's surprise, Norman Reedus, and even features Guillermo del Toro. As of this video, Death Stranding, the first new game from the studio called Kojima Productions, is still many years away. So that's where we are now. Hideo Kojima is a revolutionary, helping to create the genre known as stealth, and creating one of the most beloved franchises in gaming. His interest in film is always evident, and his outlandish ideas have no limits. We're all anxiously awaiting more information from Death Stranding and what Kojima can accomplish without the tight leash of Konami. Thanks for watching Names and Games, and let us know in the comments what other developers and creators you'd like to see featured. Hey there, thanks for watching our video. We have hundreds of other videos just like this. So check out some recommended ones right over here based on what this video is about. Make sure you subscribe because we've got tons of stuff and I would really appreciate it. So check those out and thanks for watching.